Hello and welcome to episode 6 of Soundbites on Wisp Sports Radio. Soundbites is a bi-weekly podcast providing you with practical information on holistic nutrition. On each episode, we feature a new topic to empower you to make healthier choices so you can improve your overall health, performance, and prevent disease. I am your host, Maricarmen Farias, and today I will share with you some of the practices you should avoid at all costs when trying to achieve a healthy lifestyle. Now, there's so many myths out there when it comes to weight loss, and today I just want to talk a little bit about those because I know that a lot of you out there are truly trying to achieve a healthier lifestyle, and it's just so disappointing when we're giving our best, we are completely invested, and then we don't get the results that we want. And you might be surprised that by just changing little things, making small adjustments, you will be able to not only lose weight temporarily, but actually achieve lasting health and not have to be dieting all the time. So the main thing I hear a lot of people do, and I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying it's not the best way to do it. And that is focusing on weight loss. Now, I know for a lot of people might be like, well, then what should I focus on? Now, when it comes to weight loss, I personally believe that this should be the outcome, but not the main focus. Now, you might ask yourself, why? The thing is that when you lose weight, it doesn't mean you are healthy, because there are so many ways in which you can lose weight in a very unhealthy way. Now, adding to that, when we're focusing on weight loss, we become stressed, we start obsessing over food, and we are really not focusing on health. So again, maybe you are really motivated to lose weight, but I personally believe that health should be your main priority, because why would you want to be skinny if you don't have your health? So when you focus on healthy eating, you will automatically achieve weight loss. So changing the focus, it's going to reduce the stress. It's going to actually help you understand what living a healthy lifestyle means. And it's actually going to allow you to feel amazing, because again, you can be skinny, but you can have no energy. Your health can be really bad. So understanding that this is all about health, it's really going to make this journey more exciting, and it's going to allow you to feel better and achieve a lasting health. Now, these statistics are crazy, because most people that start a journey focusing on weight loss, 95% of those people end up gaining that weight back. So we don't want to commit to something for months, for weeks, for maybe years, just to gain all the way back, because this time we're never going to have it back. And most of the practices that we implement are not going to be helping us to achieve lasting health. So that's the first one, focusing on weight loss. The second is restricting too much food. So there's this belief out there that if you eat less and work out more, you're going to get better results. Now, this is actually quite dangerous, because you will not only hit a plateau, but your body will become very inefficient at burning fat in the future. Now, most people restrict to the point where they're eating less than their basal metabolic rate, which is your basal metabolic rate are the amount of calories that you burn while you are at rest. So let's say one day you don't do anything, you're just sitting down, you're still burning calories. Now, most people, and this number is going to vary a lot from person to person, but let's say your basal metabolic rate is 1,200 calories. Now, if you're eating 1,000 calories a day, you're eating less than what your body needs on a daily basis without doing anything. So what this is going to cause is, again, that your body is going to become very inefficient at using energy because it's going to try to save all the energy that you are ingesting for the future. So restricting too much is not the answer. Now, I'm not saying you should never restrict. If you want to lose weight, you definitely have to restrict, but there's a line that you should not be crossing because then it's going to affect you in the future. Now, a lot of people that restrict too much see changes at the beginning and they start losing weight super fast, but then they hit a plateau and it's really hard to get out of that. So eating less than you should, it's not the answer when you want to lose weight. Another thing is eating low quality foods, even in small amounts. So this actually is tied a little bit to the first thing I was talking about. You can achieve weight loss by eating crappy foods. And that is something that a lot of people do. So you might be saying, okay, I might eat, let's say, pizza every day, but I'm just going to have a little bit of pizza. Of course, you're going to lose weight because you are eating less calories and you are eating less than you were eating before. But just because of that, you might lose the weight. But again, you're not going to achieve the health and you're not going to feel great. So another approach that people take that is not so beneficial is over exercising. So you eat all this food and then you want to compensate by over exercising. So again, you will achieve the weight loss, but you will not achieve it in a healthy way. So there are actually some signs to know when you are not losing weight in a healthy way. One of those is if you keep getting sick all the time, if you are very unmotivated, not only to train, but to do anything, you have difficulty waking up, you hit a plateau, you're grumpy all the time, you're fatigued. So if you are experiencing any of those symptoms and you have started a weight loss journey, you might want to reconsider what you're doing and ask yourself, am I restricting too much? Am I working out more than I know I should be working out right now? What is my focus? What is my why? Why am I really doing this? Do I really care about my health, or am I only doing this because I want to look good? Now, ask yourself those questions and you will realize that you might be doing some of those things that you were taught to do just because you really want to have results. So the other question that I get a lot is, well, what does that mean then? Like, what is good nutrition? Good nutrition. So it's actually pretty basic. You first have to determine what are the correct amount of calories that you should be eating. And the only way you can find that out is by trial and error. I personally don't like to solely focus on numbers, but I do like to use numbers as a base. Now we're all different. You have to understand that some people are going to digest carbs better than others. Other people are going to digest fats better, proteins, or whatever is it that you're eating. Now, the way to figure out your perfect ratio is by trying different approaches and listening to your body. A lot of people are trying to look for this magic formula, like tell me exactly what I need to eat, or I'm going to track everything that I'm eating. Not only is that obsessive and a waste of time, but it actually trains you to stop listening to your body and you start listening to the external voices and the external devices that are out there. And when you lose the communication that you have with your body, that your body tells you when you're hungry, your body tells you what you need to be eating. When you are not strengthening that relationship with your body, it's only going to get harder and harder and harder. You have to make sure that you're eating the correct ratios of macronutrients. Now, macronutrients are carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. Those are the foods that you should be eating every single day if you want to achieve health and if you want to achieve weight loss. Now, the ratios again are going to vary from person to person. Now, just to give you some numbers so that you can start to implement this, understand that for carbohydrates, if you are not an active person, you should be eating around 4 grams per kilogram of weight. Now, if you work out moderately, about 5 grams, and if you are highly active, about 7 grams per carbohydrates. And I'm going to give you some food options. So carbohydrates, what are those? You can have banana, you can have applesauce, rice cakes, honey, waffle, granola, bread, quinoa. Now, the quality of those foods is going to vary from brand to brand. So just make sure you are opting to eat those healthier brands. Now, when it comes to fats, I personally recommend 1 gram per kilogram of body weight. Now, again, everyone's going to do different with that. Some people do better with fats than they do with carbs. So if that's your case, then you might up your fat intake and lower your carb intake. You never want to have your carbohydrate intake and fat intake high. That is not healthy. So just make sure that if you're incrementing your fats, your carbs automatically need to go down in order for you to reduce inflammation in your body. Now, fat choices should include a variety of animal and plant choices, including lean meats, fish, nuts, seeds, avocado, oil, cheese. There's so many options out there. And honestly, when it comes to using oils, that's the best way to make sure you're getting your fats in. And the last one is protein. And this, I've noticed that there's a lot of people that overdo it. Now, if you are an active person, I personally recommend 1.5 grams. If you are trying to build muscle, I would recommend 1.7 grams per kilogram. Now, when it comes to protein, there's a lot of sources. Obviously, like eggs are a good source, salmon, chicken, legumes, which are like beans, garbanzo, and all of those things that you can use to get the protein that you need in your daily diet. Now, another thing is also making sure you're getting the micronutrients and eating at the right times. This is very important, especially before workouts. I see a lot of people doing fasted workouts, which is totally fine if the intensity is going to be lower. But a lot of people go 2-3 hours without eating just because they think that way they're going to achieve weight loss faster. And that is not healthy. The other thing, like I said before, make sure you're eating enough. And the last thing is making sure you are reducing inflammatory foods, which basically, all of the fast foods that you eat, highly processed foods, those are going to cause inflammation in the body. And when your body is inflamed from the inside, it's going to be harder for you not only to absorb what you're eating, but it's also going to be harder to lose weight and to stay healthy. I hope you found this helpful. And if you would like more information, please visit my website provided on the show notes. You can also email info@wispsports.com with any questions you may have. There will also be links in the show notes accompanying this episode at wispsports.com. Just go to listen and click on sound bites. And while you're there, you can find more conversations from the world of women's sport. And please subscribe to Wisp Sports Radio on your favorite podcast player. Follow us on social media at Wisp Sports and at Maricarmen Ferry 4. I also wanted to let you know that Wisp Sports is running a Patreon campaign, which is sort of like a Kickstarter campaign for podcasters. Wisp is doing a lot to draw more attention to women's sports, not just triathlon, ski racing, but also sports like rugby, hockey, sailing, cycling, and more. There will be a link to the campaign in the show notes, and I hope you'll go check out the campaign and become a supporter so we can continue to promote women in sport. You can follow along and share what we do on social media. Just look for Wisp Sports. Thank you for listening and supporting women in sport everywhere.